I'm sitting inside a brand new caravan by a new caravan manufacturer. This caravan is called the Tare. It's a 21-foot 4-inch off-grid caravan by Pathfinder Caravans. Now, Pathfinder Caravans launched in the second half of 2024, and one of the directors of Pathfinder is formerly of Atlantic Caravans. And when Atlantic Caravans quietly closed the door, this director still had the vision, the passion, the fire in the belly to create caravans, and so they launched Pathfinder Caravans, and this rig is their top-end off-grid off-road van. Towing it out here for the first time, never actually set foot in this caravan before until today. Gotta say, it's quite nice. I really like this club lounge. So they call it their off-grid off-road van. What is it about it that really makes it off-grid? Well, in the first instance, there is a 400 amp hour lithium battery in a locker at the rear offside of the van. There's an IntelliGrid 3 battery management system, as well as a 3000 watt inverter. On the roof, we have three 220 watt solar panels. So what's that? 660 watts all up. That's a really decent amount. Now, of course, water is one of the other main components when it comes to off-grid caravans. Now, this terrain trekker comes with two 95-litre tanks, as well as a 95-litre grey water tank. Now, one thing to know about Pathfinder is how they frame their vans. They don't use Meranti timber the way a lot of other caravan manufacturers do. Instead, they offer two methods of construction. One, we have fiberglass sandwich panel, and here we have the XPS foam. That's a structural closed cell foam that also provides the insulation of the caravan, and we have an external and internal skin of fiberglass, and this becomes a structural panel, so no traditional framing needed. And here we have a representation of their aluminium frame vans. And this terrain trekker that we're sitting in at the moment is framed in aluminium, but again, they can also do it in composite fiberglass as well. All of their vans, they also get this honeycomb structure for the floor instead of your more traditional 12mm ply. A lot of manufacturers are using this material now and seems to be going pretty well. Now, externally, the van is well fitted out. You've got a storage system on the A-frame comprised of compartments for your gas cylinders, some slide out trays. Along the near side of the caravan, obviously you've got your full awning, but you've also got a little entertainment locker with your connections for your TV and power to the TV. There's a fold down picnic table. While on the rear of the van, there's a box so that you can carry your firewood on your way to camp. And all of this adds up to what I think is a nice exterior. The fit and finish is of a high quality too. There's really nothing to complain about. Now, one small thing that I quite liked is the way they've lined the rear offside storage locker with X-plate. They've also used X-plate, along the side and the front of the caravan to help protect the bodywork. Now, X-plate is a bit of an upgrade actually over the more traditional black checker plate that we're all used to seeing. The X-plate is, at least visually, aesthetically, it's a bit nicer. Now, inside you do get the full range of appliances. You've got the 4-burner cooktop with a griller and an oven, an NCE microwave. You've got a Caravan Sahara pressurization system, a couple of 12-volt fans, and even a Fusion sound system linked to speakers both inside and outside. Don't mind the look of that bathroom either. In fact, I really like the mirror. It's bigger than what you would normally see in caravans like this. It fills out basically the entire rear wall. And as for that shower, if I'm not mistaken, that is quite a bit bigger than many showers that you'll find on caravans. And what would a top-end off-grid off-road caravan be without a washing machine?
The terrain trekker rides on a 6-inch truss chassis with 3.5-ton independent level 4 airbag suspension. It comes with dual shocks and the control panel you'll find just inside the doorway.
One of the key benefits to a system like this, of course, is the fact that you can level the van east to west. So if you're on a slightly uneven site, you don't necessarily have to worry about wheel chocks or a piece of wood under one set of tyres. A lot of manufacturers might locate the airbag control panel, behind a locker on the outside of the caravan, but where they've placed it just inside the doorway, it's nice and accessible, really no issues. So that's an 18mm benchtop finished in laminate. You can open that up. Really big drawers and soft closing as well. So here we have a projector digital panel that allows us to control various aspects of the caravan, turning off lights in the kitchen, bedroom, bathroom. We can also control things like the water pumps, and you can hear them kicking in right now. And like any good modern caravan, you do need storage space under the bed, don't you? And here we have a diesel heater with all cabling, it looks like, neatly tucked away into these cable trays. I like that that's all nicely finished too. That's really nicely edge banded rather than being left as like exposed ply, which you do sometimes see less and less. But to me, that is a tick in this van's favour. It's just nicely done. Another small point, but I'll say it anyway, this is absolutely the best place to put your control for the diesel heater. It means you can warm up the caravan without even getting out of bed. Now there is some storage space underneath the club lounge. However, it's really just in this central section because the hot water service is, at the leading edge of the lounge, where back here is where they put the battery. However, as I said, you can access the battery from outside, the offside of the caravan. So with the cushions removed, we can see how they've treated the base, and it's all nicely trimmed up. Here we have some general storage space, maybe for some board games or extra blankets, things that you don't need to access too often. Whereas here, we have the onboard lithium battery, but again, we can access it from the outside. And a luxury caravan like this really does need a slide-out barbecue, doesn't it? We do need to connect the hot and cold water separately, as well as the gas. Fortunately, the bayonet is nice and close by, just down here. So I did mention the fact that there's a storage system on the A-frame, but as a general observation, I guess I'd point out the fact that it's not your run-of-the-mill black checker plate that you're probably familiar with. We are seeing more and more these powder-coated sheet metal storage systems that look a bit more custom-made for the caravan that they're fitted to. It's a much better look. We've got a slide-out tray on this side and another one on the other side. You could put your portable fridge there. You could add an Anderson plug later on. And this tray up here would be a fantastic place. You strap your bits and pieces. Yet another slide-out tray. Another little place up here to put your bits and pieces. On this side of the tunnel boot, we've got yet more storage space. This is what I was talking about when I mentioned the X plate that's used to line this locker. Underneath here, we do have quite a lot of checker plate that they've screwed up to the chassis to protect the grey water tank. Grey water dump outlet, we've got our mains, pressure water there, we've got heaps of checker plate up underneath. And here we have the 12-volt nerve sensor of the caravan, and you'll notice that it's vented, but it's also filtered as well. We have a 3000 watt, 180 amp inverter. We have a 30 amp DC to DC charger. This is our MPPT solar controller as well. We have all our fuses, it's all nice and neat. And we have the marine carpet for a nice finish as well. So that looks really good. So there you go. That is the Terrain Trekker by Pathfinder Caravans. New manufacturer, but if this one is anything to go by, it's going to be very interesting to see what they come up with next. Pathfinder Caravans, I reckon that's one manufacturer to keep your eye out for.